Anyone else?
Erin, I tried contacting you a couple of months ago. My wife and I were the liveaboards on the sailboat on the Caloosahatchees out of Cape Coral. She was 7 months pregnant when this algae bloom started coming in. We tried reaching out to you. I know you're
Facebook?
On Facebook, email, your website. We tried getting numerous messages to you. So when we called Rick Scott's office, we called Bill Nelson's office. I'm a private investigator. I became very proactive. I opened my social media, everything that we could do. They kept telling us, call 211, call the Red Cross, call all these places. Right, passing it on to somebody else. And what happened was they had no knowledge of any state of emergencies. No plan in progress, and then Governor Rick Scott saying he'd do what it takes for the health of the Florida citizens, and nothing's been done. He's received millions of dollars, and we were stuck on that boat up until her birth, and our daughter was born with diaphragmatic hernia. And earlier I tried to speak with you regarding the Roundup that's in there. We think there's an affiliation. What should we do? What should a lot of people do?
Well,
there's no assistance, and there's birth defects because of it. Because the doctor and the surgeon both said that this is directly a result of pesticides. It's not a genetic disorder.
Well, listen, we already know this about Roundup and the glyphosate and all the cancers it's causing. There's a lot of lawsuits going on. There might be another lawsuit out of this. The law's looking around. They're waiting to see. But the best thing we can do is try to find information for you that will help your daughter moving forward. So, again, report to Community Health Book. I know you emailed. I saw your email. I actually thought we had a conversation. But there may have been someone else that's got a similar situation.
Could be.
That's why reporting is so important. Because if we just report 10 or 20, it means nothing. But suddenly if it's 10,000, it means something. So let's get you to report. And I've said repeatedly, I don't know how many more times I can say, I don't know where your state officials are. I don't know what they're covering up. I don't know what the problem is. But you as the community that's been harmed, you need to keep pushing through that process. And it's very frustrating. I've heard every single community I've ever dealt with have the same problem. Flint, Michigan had the same problem. 4 years since Flint. Guess what? They finally fought long enough and they changed the lead and copper rule yesterday. Legislation did. 4 years. That's what it's going to take. You're going to have to be committed to this to see a change. I'm sorry about your daughter. I don't know what we can do other than get it reported. And I don't know, your path may be some litigation, but that won't settle for 4 to 5 years. So we need to try to find some answers. And in the meantime, if policies changed and people acted to change it so you don't continue to have these type of water issues. So you're going to have to be in it for a long time.
And just like you said, the regulations, so I found out that Manatee County got, for Mosaic, 3 more permits to drill.
Mosaic's a big problem. We're aware of Mosaic. So there's several things going on. Mosaic is a problem, but some of their pollution is affecting Lake Okeechobee. But the problem is your ag above it. And then above that, we've got all kinds of PFOA, PFOS issues up north. And then we've got all kinds of brain clusters, tumors, glioblastomas. We have no idea why. We know Mosaic's a problem. Then we got ag. Then we got Lake Okeechobee. It flushes. It sends it east and west. We got sugar industry down to the south.
Right down the aquifers.
And then their pollution goes further south. So it's a problem up and down the whole state. It's pretty hard it's daunting unless we can get communities mobilized. And that's one thing that we're trying to do. And one thing is get them to report to my map. The media is helpful. And listen, I shared with you today, we just went through a legislative issue with PG&E. We screamed and yelled and called and went to the media over and over and over again, 6 days a week. Week after week after week after week. We rotated groups in and rotated groups out. And if you don't and you aren't willing to do that, you're not going to see a result. We got a result. The legislation went with us.
I'm willing to be as vocal as I can.
And you have to be, and you have to get to the policymakers. But it takes time. But we did in Hinckley. They did in Kettleman. They've done it in Flint. Even though they're still having problems, they did get the lead and copper rule changed. That's a really big deal. You're going to have to change policies here. You have to stay with it.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It works if you do it, and I've seen it happen everywhere. I saw it happen in Hannibal, Missouri. We went there. They had lead contamination worse than Flint. So you know what? The community said, I'm not going to have this. So they educated all of their neighbors. They got very involved. They said, what else can we do? We said, run for office. They ran for office, and they won. Now they had the control or the power, if you will, to change, get a referendum, put it out to vote. Everyone voted unanimously, no more ammonia in our water. And guess what? Because of them and their follow through and going for city council and believing they can do it, they're getting lead-free water. That's the power of people, and we have to go back to it. I don't know what's happened to us, and if we've forgotten to believe in ourselves. But I'm here to tell you, get out here, join me, work with me. We can make change. Don't just sit around and think that whoever the powers to be are going to do it for you.
Right, absolutely.
Okay?
Thank you.
I just want to make